Hello and welcome to a Soul Reaver cut content video, where I take the information about the content cut out from the early builds of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and assemble that information for you in easily digestible video format. Before we begin, a shout out to The Lost Worlds, the primary source for information on Legacy of Kain cut content. For a few years, The Lost Worlds was in a coma, but the portal is still alive, having been updated a few months ago after a 4-year long break, and who knows, maybe the fans of the series will be able to find something new in these games, keeping up the interest for the classics. As you know, the original Soul Reaver ends at the battle between Raziel and Kain at the Chronoplast. In the original plans, Raziel wounds Kain, who flees to the mountain retreat, while Raziel gets a fraction of Kain's soul and thus gains the ability to freely shift between spectral and material realms, with no need for a planar portal to get out of the spirit world, so long as Raziel is at full health. As I mentioned years ago in the Let's Play, this is still in the game, it's still in the engine, and this ability can be used through hacks, cheats, or as you are seeing here in the video, the debug menu. Using this ability allows Raziel to enter a new area, the Undercity.
Even this small measure of Kain's soul has conferred on you a great gift. Like your master, you may now shift into the material plane at will. While your health must still be fully restored, you no longer require a portal.
The Undercity was to be a massive complex underneath the Human Citadel, and that would be where Raziel begins to really encounter the vampire worshippers who, as we know, did make it into the final release of Soul Reaver, but in the released version they are just hanging kind of loose, with no ties to anything in the game and with no context at all. This, the Undercity, was to be the context. It would lead to a further area, the temple, where Raziel would encounter the Priestess, the leader of the vampire worshipping cult. The Undercity was to be a very large-scale area with, based on what information had been extracted from the game files, a lot of vertical movement and, according to the developers, water-based puzzles involving raising and lowering the water levels, the same kind of puzzles that we already have in the Human Citadel. There is not a lot of the Undercity left in the final game. What we do have are, first, some screenshots that were published by mistake by a gaming magazine. These are available at The Lost Worlds, and the link is going to be in the description to the page directly. Secondly, there are some textures from Daniel Cabuco, which among other things contain a reference to the original opening cinematic of the first Blood Omen. Finally, there are 2 rooms still present in the game files of the PC and PlayStation versions. These are now known as City 10 and City 11, and they don't really give much information apart from the sheer glitchiness of the level geometry present therein. These glitches could perhaps have been the reason, or maybe a reason, to cut the area from the final release of the game. The Undercity would then lead Raziel to an area called the Temple. You will notice that the word Temple is not in the video title, and that is because we don't really know anything about the Temple, other than that would be where Raziel would encounter the Priestess, or the High Priestess of the Vampire Worshippers. She would be the ultimate boss battle for the area. Regarding the Priestess, in the released version there is barely anything left. Pretty much all we have are a few depictions of women's faces throughout the Human Citadel, one in Rahab's territory, and that is it. The only real depiction of the Priestess is the promotional prequel 1999 comic, published by Top Cow and Eidos, in which the vampire Raziel is given a premonition by a, air quotes, construct of the elder gods of his future destiny. I am showing the page showing the Priestess herself here, and the entire thing is available as a gallery at the Legacy of Kain wiki, the link is in the description. And if you feel like buying the real thing, you will see that there is still a couple of copies available on eBay. We know for certain that the encounter with the Priestess was planned. Much like for the original Tyrell encounter, there is still some audio left in the game data, which was extracted and posted at the Lost Worlds.
Mysterious figures moved under cover of darkness, their robes betraying occult intent. This temple seemed to be a source of contagion. I would find a way to infiltrate this vampire lair.
Return to the Human Citadel, Raziel. The temple, despite its innocuous facade, is rotten to its core, and like a cancer, spreads its corruption throughout the city.
I watched unseen as shadowy figures slipped down the temple walls. The city slumbered, oblivious to the danger creeping just outside.
Heretic! Welcome to your undoing. Your sorcery is useless in this holy place.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Faith? Faith left you when you were excommunicated by our Lord Kain.
I was executed, not excommunicated. You will learn the difference. Your faith has failed you. Where are your precious vampires now? Where is your holy Kain?
You are the one who has betrayed his faith, his brethren, his creator. I have served my gods.
And now, you will meet them.
In her long service to her vampire masters, the priestess had learned a measure of sorcery. In devouring her soul, this power is conferred on you. You may project your spirit, and in so doing, take possession of your victim's body.
Upon defeating the Priestess, Raziel would gain a new ability, the Possession, allowing the original story of Soul Reaver to unfold. Stay tuned for more cut content videos for Soul Reaver. I promise they will no longer take years to make, and feel free to join my Discord channel for live updates on the progress and early access to the work as it goes, and to be able to see the scripts long before the videos are up. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye.